Not sure which fields to use in PandaDoc? In this video, we're going to take a look at the difference between text, checkboxes, dropdowns, and more so that you can send out proposals that capture the right data every time. Let's jump in. Okay, so we're here in a template and I'm going to show you the different content blocks on the right hand side. We're going to be dealing with all of the blocks in here. We've gone through this in other videos, but I think in more depth this could be hopefully useful to somebody. So we've basically got these different blocks on the right. I'm going to jump down to one of the standard page sections and show you what's possible here. So text sections are pretty straightforward. You can drag and drop them across from the side here. In the text section, you can add your text, of course. You can format using your headings, etc. In order to make that look nice, and that's how it functions. In terms of what's possible field-wise, it's not a lot. It's basically a standard text section, and that it's pretty much it. It's just does text. We've also got images. So within the image field, you can upload these JPEG, PNG, GIF, WebP files. You can add them to the content library automatically. It's quite useful if you are uploading files as you go, building your template that you'll potentially want to use those images again. You can click that and upload to the image library. You can also pull images from your library if you've already got them stored in here, so that can be useful too. The images can be pulled from different storage services that are listed down the bottom here, or you can upload them directly. So that's how an image works. Things to note about the image property are that you can format this one a bit. You can do this with text blocks as well, but it's particularly useful for images where you might want to add a margin or a negative margin in order to pull the image out to the edge of the page. That's definitely possible. And you would see then the image will sort of flow out to the edge of the page in that kind of format. That's possible there. We've got a video block here. Video, you've got a few different options here listed there in terms of embedding those videos, and they need to be publicly accessible links in order to sort of populate them through here. When you add it in, you'll see that it populates here, and it's got a sort of a button, and it will be interactive for the client. So this is quite a useful, certainly at the introduction section or the top of your proposal, quite a useful thing to add in for many businesses. Tables is pretty straightforward. You've got the simple ability to add columns and rows. You can merge fields, all the standard stuff you can do within a table and delete them, etc. You've also got the ability to style the table. So the standard styling exists within the design tab here, but you can go ahead and style a specific table under the design of the table itself. So properties, design, and then go ahead and make those changes here. So you can see if I change that, it will show all of the borders, most obviously in a table format like that. Pricing table is pretty self-explanatory. It's your pricing table linked to your CRM if you have a CRM. It's got payment integrated if you take payment, depending on your business model. And you can pull products from your product library in PandaDoc, which is in here and in catalog, product catalog. You can also add sections into here. So you might have different sections, and you may want to have your products flow through into here that have the ability to be optional or edit the quantity for the client. All of that is possible. Something like this, right? Editing the price like this, and the client can choose whether they use that or not. There's some pretty standard design available in here. Pretty simple, but you can style this a little bit and have a play around with that. So that's possible there. We can do an entire video on the pricing table and all of the idiosyncrasies with regards to it and how it works, and specifically how it integrates with different platforms like HubSpot, Salesforce, Pipedrive, etc. So let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to know more about and specifically how it works. The quote builder is a new kind of new functionality. It's basically the pricing table but on steroids. So it has a lot within here that you can do, including rules and conditional logic. You can do lookup tables if you have access to that, depending on your plan with PandaDoc. And then CPQ comes into this element as well, depending on if you're using one of those CRMs that I mentioned, Salesforce Pipedrive and HubSpot. They have that functionality. So you can do the same thing, pulling from the catalog, adding products. It just looks a bit nicer. The way that this one functions is nicer, and you can do more of a SaaS-like layout. Again, I could do an entire video on this because there's a lot in here, especially around rules and certainly what's possible here. So let me know if that is something that you would like. We can go into that as well. Table of contents block is particularly useful. It will enable, if you turn this on, left side navigation for the recipient. So when it displays on a browser, you're basically, as a recipient of a document, you're seeing a left side navigation of all of these elements that are sort of hyperlinks that'll pull your client through the proposal to the sections that they want to be in. Like this, when you click it, it jumps down like that. So yeah, very useful. You can turn off various headings to make it a little simpler. So if you had heading 1 and 2, for example, and you can also turn on page numbers, very useful. Some design styling available, and you can also do formatting, etc. within the content table. So those are those blocks. And then we've also got page breaks. Pretty straightforward. If you add that in anywhere here, it will break it into another page. If you have a standard design styling background for your page, it will add that to the next page that's been created. So it's pretty easy to sort of split up your content into pages. And then finally, we've got smart content under the smart content blocks. So in here, you can add items from your content library and have them sort of fill into this smart content block. There are 2 different ways to trigger how these get added. One is pre-selecting the content and having your salespeople select, oh, yep, I want a client testimonial 1 or 2 or 3 on this particular proposal before sending out. Or you can do it conditionally using variables. So from your CRM, for example, if you had industry equals healthcare, then you can do like something like this. Whoops, industry, and you would grab the variable name from your CRM, and you would go like this. Healthcare. Again, we could probably do a video on this, conditional rules and conditional content, but you would do it like this, and then you would go, okay, well, if it is that, then add client testimonial 1 because it's a healthcare testimonial, that kind of thing. So that's sort of how that functions, and it will just not display if it doesn't, like you can hide it on sending, or you can insert default content. That's the other option there. So hopefully that makes sense with regards to those blocks. The fields, pretty self-explanatory. The different field options are text field. You pull these over the top of the document here in the section that you want them. Let's say here, it's probably a bad example. Let's have a look down here. So we've got signature fields pulled in here. You may wish for the client to add their name or billing contact details, that kind of thing. So you'll bring these fields across in that manner to where you want them to be, and then assign them to who needs to fill them in. You've also got signature fields, initials. Initial fields can be quite useful if you need people to initial certain sections of maybe a something like a terms and conditions or something like that. You can have them initial fields within there. So you can see that exists there. And then we've got date fields. On the date field, one thing to note is that you can now set this to the signing date. Very useful, especially for the client who's signing. So you don't have to have it have them add the date. It'll just automatically apply the date that it's signed. You've got checkboxes. Checkboxes are pretty self-explanatory. Again, they come into this kind of conditional rules. So there's something you can do here. If content exists or variable exists, then add checkbox or note that checkbox is there, or tick, etc. Lots you can do. Also, the same thing with the radio button, except obviously they are radio, so you've got the multi-select option there. Dropdowns, pretty self-explanatory. It's a drop-down field, and it contains very similar logic to the rest of the field. So you've got the rules and you've got the other elements here, but you can also do conditional logic. With the conditional logic on the dropdowns, when dropdown value is selected, and you can say when it's selected and it shows, whatever it happens to show, then show another field, that kind of thing. So that's possible if you have rules turned on, and that's available on your account. It's not available on all accounts and all plans. So that's there. You've got card details if you need your client to add their card details, and you'll need to add a payment gateway, as you can see here, Stripe or authorized.net, to save the card details into one of those systems. You can collect files, very useful, and you can assign that to the client so that they can upload a file. You can mark it as required if you need that file to be added before they sign off the proposal. And then finally, stamp. So a stamp is add the stamp function here. So we can add a stamp, and it's as simple as that. It just gets added here, and then that is that. Those are all the fields that are available here. If you have any questions about any particular one, as I mentioned, some of these, smart content, pricing table, quote builder, perhaps some of these down the bottom here, these variable fields, might be a little bit more in depth than we can go through on this video, but hopefully it gives you some insight into what is possible and where you would use these on a proposal. Let me know if you have any questions, drop it in the comments, and thanks for watching.